Hi, I'm Sandy Ray, founder of Sandra E. Ray CPA, where we alleviate financial headaches so that you can create a bigger impact. Today, I want to talk to you about donor queries and concerns. As you all know, trust matters, and trust is the key to transparency. Addressing donor concerns and queries is an important part of transparency. So let's talk about some common donor queries and concerns so that you can be prepared to respond quickly and with confidence. Now, the first question that any donor has is, what's your mission? If you are struggling to explain your mission and your programs, donors assume that you're struggling to deliver on those programs. Healthy organizations know exactly who they are, what they do, and why they're needed. So you need to spend some time really thinking about this, some good quality focused time, digging into it very deeply so that you have some really great answers, not only for your mission, but then again, what are your goals that you're trying to accomplish within that mission? We can't always complete the entire mission in 1 year, or we wouldn't have nonprofits that are in existence for so many years. So in addition to your mission, be very specific about what you're trying to accomplish in the short term and the long term. And be specific. We want to be able to communicate this on what we're doing on a daily basis. What are our goals that are necessary to measure our success? So without having goals and a way to measure those, we can't really measure our success, and then we can't communicate to our donors what we were able to accomplish and what we still have left to accomplish, why we still need their help and assistance. Another thing we have to think about is the progress, like I kind of alluded to, the progress that we're making towards those goals. What have you accomplished? What have you been able to do? And what are you still working on? How can you demonstrate what you've done and how it's impacted your constituents in your community? And then how do you communicate that to your donors so that they understand what you're trying to do, what you're working towards, and why their assistance, financial or otherwise, is needed? Another thing that donors want to understand is, what challenges are you facing? How can you help the donor understand the challenges that you're having and why their help is needed? These are all things that we need to think about, and we need to be able to communicate to our donors. We also want to talk about, how do we communicate that information to our donors? There's several different ways to do that. Documents such as our 990 or audited and reviewed financial statements. Of course, that's my area. Those are the first two things that come off the top of my head. But what about the watchdog group, the Charity Watchdog group? The Better Business Bureau has Wise Giving Alliance. Of course, there's Charity Navigator, Charity Watchdog, GuideStar. All of these places are looking at your organization and communicating to donors on your behalf, whether you want them to or not. Donors also want to know who's leading your team, who's the senior management team, and who's on the board of directors. Sometimes that helps them understand better how you're managing your organization, and they feel more confident in providing you with assistance. Donors want to know some of the basic stuff that we all want to know. Are you selling their information? What do you do with the information when you gather it? Do you have a privacy policy? How secure is your online donor system? Is your website PCI compliant? And then finally, how can individuals and corporations help in other ways than providing cash? Do you have a volunteer program? Do you accept non-cash donations? And if you do, what do you accept? And how can they get them to you? For example, if you accept stock gifts, you have to have an account to receive those stock gifts. If you're receiving tangible items, you have to have a drop-off location. Those are the kinds of things that donors need to know. So there's lots of great information that we can share with our donors to give them confidence in our organization. But how do we do that? Well, there's several ways that we can do that. And many of us are already doing that through, for example, our website. We're putting our missions out there. We're putting our programs out there. We've got a donate button. We've got the About Us. That's all wonderful ways to communicate that information. I want you to think about going to these watchdog organization websites and looking at your profile and adding to it the information that you want to add to it to provide more transparency for your organization, to give donors the understanding of what it is that you're trying to accomplish and why you need their help. Maybe your profile on those websites are great. Maybe it needs some improvement. Another place that donors go is state websites. So look at your profile on your state website. What can you do to improve that and what donors are seeing there? And then obviously your Form 990, I'm always talking about really getting detailed on those program service accomplishments, put some statistical information, how much did you grow this year? What did you complete this year? Did you have any new programs? Those kinds of things. Your donor appeal letters are a great way to tell stories of constituents who have been through the program and what they're doing now. And then, of course, your social media. You can always communicate those types of things through your social media and get your story out there. I hope this was helpful for you today, and I want to thank you for joining me. Remember, creating a bigger impact starts with stopping the nonsense. If you're dealing with nonsense in your nonprofit organization, we'd love to help you cut through the noise.